Hi guys, welcome back to the show. Today I want to talk to you about change and transformation, what the difference is and what that means in terms of you being able to build your confidence. So let me take you back 12 years ago. I was trying to desperately build my confidence back after having developed severe social anxiety, a petrifying fear of public speaking, and not just that, but an anxiety that would pop up in all kinds of situations, right? From being on the telephone to chatting with friends to meeting someone one-on-one. So I was desperate to win back my confidence. And I tried almost everything that I could find. I tried taking supplements that were supposed to alleviate nerves. I tried doing exercise in order to feel more confident. I went to different coaches and therapists. I did tapping and I did EMDR, eye movement things, all kinds of weird and wonderful attempts to make me feel more confident. I even tried this weird herbal spray that you're supposed to put under your tongue and it alleviates your anxiety. Didn't work, tasted awful. So I didn't use the rest of it, even though it cost about £30 for this tiny little bottle. Anyway, some of these things helped a little bit, but none of them truly made a lasting change. And that is what I wanted. I didn't just want to feel a little bit better temporarily. I wanted to solve my problem. I wanted to win back my confidence. I wanted to get rid of this anxiety that was truly ruining my life. And I think a lot of people are in a similar situation to this, right? Maybe your situation isn't quite as extreme as mine, but if you're listening to this, then I imagine you might be facing a situation where anxiety or nerves are impeding your performance. Whether it's at a board meeting, whether it's at a presentation, whether you want to get on social media and do videos yourself, right? Whatever it is. And I think a lot of the reason why people get into this problem is that we have a false idea of overnight success, right? And quick wins. And I think this is a real sticking point that gets a lot of people stuck. So here's the thing, right? We get this idea of overnight success, firstly from the media, right? Because we watch films where the hero of the story, hits rock bottom, decides to change, and then there's a 90-second montage of them running around and lifting weights and reading furiously, and then, hey presto, transformation, right? They're a new person, they're ready to take on the world. And so what's happened is in the storyline of the film, they've taken what would be months and years of this change, and they've just condensed it into this tiny little 90-second montage, and that's what we get given. And the same thing happens in social media, right? Because again, people only have a little tiny snippet to tell you about their lives and their successes, and so they talk about the business that they've launched, or the product, or the career, or the confidence, whatever it is, and they have to miss out all of the years of struggle and difficulty and problems and mistakes, and they just give you that little highlight reel. And so we're bombarded with these messages that change should be easy, change should happen quickly. And then we look internally at ourselves and we say, why is it not working for me? Why am I stuck? Why am I not changing? Why do I still feel so anxious in these situations? And we internalize it as a me problem, right? There's something wrong with me. And I speak to so many people who say, I just cannot do it. I am just not confident. I'm just not a good speaker, because they've internalized this problem. So here, I think, is a little bit of an antidote for you if you can relate to this. And the antidote is by understanding the difference between change and transformation, right? These aren't the definitions of the dictionary. This is just how I interpret it. So the way I would phrase it is that a change is something that happens instantly. A change is something that happens in the moment, right? Someone says something, or you see something, or you experience something, and it's a light bulb moment that changes how you think or feel or behave. But it's only a temporary change, right? The door has been opened, but that is all. Whereas the transformation happens when we act on those changes again and again and again and again, consistently across time. And that is when the true change is embedded and it becomes a transformation, right? So change is quick, it's short-term, transformation is long, but lasting. So let me give you some examples, right, from my own life. I remember when I read my first ever self-development book. It was by Susan Jeffers, and it's called Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. Very famous book, you've probably heard of it. And I read it, and it opened my eyes to this idea for the first time that I can learn, I can understand things differently, and I can change who I am as a person, right? I can change how I show up and operate in the world. And so it changed me on the level of thinking. But it was only years later, when I'd read dozens and dozens of other books about personal development and psychology and spirituality, that I could say that I meaningfully transformed myself and my thinking. So again, the difference between change and transformation. I'll give you another example. When I first went to a Toastmasters public speaking club and walked in and delivered a table topic in front of 30 people for about 60 seconds, I changed that night, right? Even though I didn't go back for an entire year because I was so embarrassed, something had changed in me through that experience. And it was the fact that I realized public speaking was a skill that you could learn. I realized that other people struggle with this, and that there was a community out there that I could help and be a part of. Now, it still took me an entire 12 months to actually go back and be a part of that community, but that change had still happened. But the transformation only occurred, again, many years later, when I had gone back and committed to becoming a member and gone every single week to deliver speeches and to do roles and give feedback and evaluations and eventually become the club president. And that is when I could say that I had meaningfully achieved a transformation in terms of my skill set as a communicator. One final example would be the first time that I stepped off stage after delivering my first ever theatrical performance, right, which was as the bridegroom in Lorca's Blood Wedding. You can think of this as a little bit of a Shakespeare-y style theatre play. And when I stepped off stage, having delivered this play to 150 people or so, I had I guess like a bit of a moment of personal epiphany where I thought, Jesus, I can do this, right? Despite having social anxiety and panicking all the time, I can step on stage and perform and deliver and do a good job and enjoy it. So it was a real change for me that time. But the transformation only occurred years later, after I had a whole career as a professional actor, done dozens of different plays, performed in front of hundreds of audiences, in theatres all around the UK, off-Broadway, in Italy, done it again and again and again, repetition after repetition. That's when a true transformation had taken place, where I realised that I have this skill set and I have this ability. So, change happens quickly, but it's only the start. Transformation takes time, but that is what we want to aim for. So when it comes to your journey, right, whatever you want to achieve, whether it's more confidence in speaking or more confidence in any other situations, you want to look out for these quick wins, right? Not necessarily the herbal spray bottle, forget that, but anything else that you can do to start taking action, getting yourself out there and opening up your mindset into new possibilities. But you have to realize that that is just the first step, and that it is only by being consistent and being someone who takes that action again and again and again that you can really achieve the transformation. But it is worth it. All that time and effort and sacrifice, it is totally worth it, because future you, 1 year from now, rather than being in the exact same place, the exact same position, can then look back and say, we have transformed. We feel differently about this. We can communicate with more confidence. We can enjoy the situations that used to make us feel queasy and anxious and keep us up at night. And that is totally worth it. So I encourage you all to stay strong on the journey, to keep moving forwards, to be in pursuit not just of change, but of transformation. And I wish you all the best. And if you have any comments or feedback, please let me know in the comments. And feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn, check me out online at projectcharisma.com. And I hope that this has helped. Bye for now.